Hey, welcome back. If you remember, this is one of the flips we're working on. The last time you saw it, it was initial demo, I guess. There's been a lot that's changed since then. I'm getting ready to meet a trim carpenter over here to go through the cabinet layout. Everything in here is going to be custom build, but I thought I would show you a little bit before that. This here was studs and a little bit demoed before. We've obviously added these big old stout beams in here to make it this semi-open concept. What's happening today is we're adding 42 inches of cabinet right here, and then we're coming right here with a peninsula that then bar stools could then go on. Here's one thing that I want some input on if you've got it. One thought was to break it right here in this door, and that gives you plenty of room for bar stools, but I'm fearful that that goes too far into the living room because at some point there will be a couch right here. Hello. It's not much of a walkthrough. So my thought is, cabinet permitting, we go maybe right here. It's still enough for, I think, 3-4 bar stools, but you don't feel like you're walking into the living room to get to maybe the banquette or to get around here. Interested to know your thoughts on that? Let me know. Let me spin you this way. Coming slightly from the other direction where I was just standing, this used to be a walk-through. Remember going through here, and so now it's one whole solid wall. There will be cooktop, range, vent hood going up and out, double stacked oven with microwave on top, coffee bar right here, enclosed in a cabinet, refrigerator going there. All right, so not much has changed over here with the exception of getting the walls pre-finished out. There will be a window here. Obviously that used to be a double door. JR, where's the egress? We're putting the door in over here. Makes a little bit more sense to be able to use this space as kind of an overflow from the kitchen, homework room, eat in, dine at, you name it. Let me take you to the next spot. That was one of the bigger items that we talked about the first time. We'll weave our way through refrigerator land. And this one's worth spending a little bit of time on. So here is what used to be 2 rooms. You had laundry room here, doorway that went that way, and they had a freezer in there. I get office, deep freeze, whatever. That's a door going out to the garage. There's a door, storage room, and then exterior door to the enclosed garage. This is still going to be one big laundry room / pantry. So washer and dryer going against this wall. They'll come out about 33 and a half inches, so probably here. On the initial plans we drew up, we wanted to have an island right in the middle for a folding station. My wife, being the sharp one of the bunch, kept walking through and going, I think that's going to get tight against the washer and dryer. It was mentioned in our plans, but we didn't really think about it because it felt a lot bigger when it was demoed. Once you put drywall back, it's amazing how a room can shrink up a little bit. It's still a very, very big room, but it feels a lot smaller once you do that. So we measured it yesterday, and I'll paint some lines and show you in a second. There would be no room for a washer and dryer. Top load, front load, doesn't matter. It would be very tight. So we're going to nix that. This will just be wide open, which is even better because we're going to have really cool tile coming through here. And we'll have plenty of counters. So right here will be a sink, and then there'll be an L-shaped bank of cabinets that go right here to the window. There'll be a lot of countertop space there. And then if we move you just a little bit to... All right, and so on this side, if that door will stay, let's see, stay. Remember, sink was here. Outside to the garage right there. This will be a set of mud lockers, and I'll pop the plans up in this video somewhere right here for you to see them. So there'll be mud lockers here. There will be, I think it's two cabinets that go maybe floor to ceiling, or a set of cabinets, open top about 36 inches wide. Solid drawer bank below it, so cool dividers you could put in there for pantry storage is the idea. And then 18 inches off the wall all the way to trim will be more floor to ceiling cabinets, one big open one. And then you'll still have your big laundry room. And then we'll do a couple can lights, and 2 really cool pendants that hang down to kind of brighten the space up. And then you come in from the garage, boom, dump zone, take off into the house. Okay, the only other thing that I don't know that I ever really mentioned in the first video is this used to be just a pass-through door, and it actually was right here. And this wall came out probably another 6 inches. And there's no office space in the home. We thought about turning that room into an office, but we felt like with this size of a house, it was better suited with a bigger laundry. But we would expect someone to need an office. And so there is a little office I'll show you in just a second. So we took this door and we added it in. And of course, we'll frame it in and put a door there. I think we're going to go with a unique, something fun, kind of like one of the other flips that I showed you a while back. And then you can close this off, and this goes directly into the primary bedroom. So you can kind of do all the primary stuff there, and it doesn't make its way back into the living space. So if we just take a quick walk, right here you'll see, okay, so this was the door coming in from where we were just looking. Here's your desk. This will get a refresh and everything. But then you've got primary directly coming out. There's a closet to utilize the space under the stairs, and then bloop, back out into the house. So that's the other big change that happened here. And then lastly, over here obviously is the cased opening that we talked about. This is where there will be an inoperable door here that will look just like the operable door here. And then these windows are getting replaced. If you can't tell, they've got some weight reduction towards the bottom. You may say, well, JR, why would you not put some big doors that open up right here? Fantastic question. The main reason is because the porch has a weird angle that hits right here behind this window. Well, JR, why don't you just make a different porch? Great question too. This is a 4,000 square foot house. This is a monster renovation. So we had to pick and choose where the money was best spent to what we felt like, one, get the best value for the property, but give the best product for the client. And this has got a monster backyard. It's probably an acre. It's about an acre, I guess. And we felt like the size house this was, the size family would probably be, the amount of space they've got to hang out and spill over into the yard, future project could go that way. We wanted to spend a good bit of money, kitchen, laundry, and the other spaces that I've shown you, as opposed to that. So all that to say, single door going here. One thing to think about when you're doing a reno, when we moved this wall back, there was just one single door right here, and the doors that went outside were over there, right? If I'm on camera, that way. Hey, Matt, I'll start recording. And so the door that went out was over here. Thus, the light switches for the outside and the room were over here. This was nothing but windows. It was a window, 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 window. There was no electrical, no switches, anything like that over there. There was also no light switch for the banquette on this side. So when you're thinking about changing egress, especially, but moving any kind of wall, and changing the flow of a room and how you may enter the room or leave the room, and if there's multiple areas you could come from, one thing that if you don't do a lot of it, you wouldn't think about is where's the electrical going to go? Where am I going to cut my lights on? Where do plugs have to go on the wall? There's certain places via code that plugs have to go, but the main thing is that didn't have any electrical, so they had to, you'll see these little random drywall spots, that's where they had to cut in, gain access to drop over. And so in this instance, the egress was over there. So the light switch was over on the other side of this wall. And if it comes through in the video, you can see where they cut a hole out, pulled the wire through from that switch, brought it right there, and then terminated that one over here. Little nuggets of wisdom for a remodel. Hey, it's me from the future. As I was editing this video, I realized that my ending was pretty junky. Didn't think that one through. However, what I do have is a ton of footage right after this of me walking this project with my partner that's on this deal, plus our trim carpenter. So you get to hear us talk through, should you stick around, some of the layout. You'll hear us talk about where things should fall, how we should build the doors, all that good nerdy stuff for construction. But one thing I want to talk about that you may notice in the video, I'm wearing this little thing on my shirt. If you can see that in the video, it'll be stuck somewhere like this. This is called a plaud pin, P-L-A-U-D. Started wearing this about a month ago on certain meetings, especially for contractor site walkthroughs, meeting with subs, meeting with people on design. What this does is it's listening to everything that I'm talking about while on site. It's way more than a dictation device, though. It's got AI built into the back end. And so once finished, this software, Plod software, goes through the transcript and starts laying out action items for each party that was speaking during the process. It lays out a mind map for who needs to do what questions we don't have answers to, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. It's even intuitive enough to pick up on things that you meant to say but didn't bring up. Crazy, I know. I'll show you a snippet of that, but what's also cool is I've gone a little bit further and built a chat bot where I can take that dictation, stick it inside of the bot, and then it spits out a 2-code reference point of this construction project. Again, I'll show a screenshot. If you got any questions about how I did that, let me know. It's been a game changer. If you meet with clients, this is any field, but construction, because that's what we're talking about. If you're meeting with subcontractors, clients, partners, whomever about a project, you don't even need a notebook anymore. This thing will listen to everything going on. Then you go back, and in seconds, you have a transcript with intuitive information to send out to all parties. All right, back to the video. Here we go, walking the site with all of us involved. Let's go.
40 inches to enclose the fridge. So if I go from here, that's 40 inches right there. There wouldn't be much left.
No, And I'm Will White. Welcome to the party.
But,
Y'all just go ahead and
I don't
start.
believe,
Yeah.
I don't believe you're actually on time.
Y'all don't need me.
Well, actually, what he said, we're both surprised that you wanted to work today. That's what we were confused about,
I deserve that. I deserve that.
But see, he's going to be out of town tomorrow. That's why he couldn't do it tomorrow. Yeah.
I told him this has to go.
Okay.
Okay, let's see, this is like the center of the slide-in stove.
Okay.
So by code, now this has to be inside of the cabinet because you can shut it off.
The gas?
You have to, yeah, but where it's coming, it's gonna be right inside of the cabinet, so you have a shut off.
Okay.
And it should fall within the cabinet. It's coming off 42 inches from this one is where the peninsula is going to turn. And so then you'll come out the depth of the cabinet from here. So there's going to be space back there.
Okay.
You know, we hadn't talked about this, but I'll bring it up while we're here. We're going to obviously have a blind corner right there, you know, where this hits. Can we put a door on this side so we can get into that cabinet?
Sure.
Okay. Because it'll be covered by you won't see it from anywhere. It's going to be bar stools in front of it anyway, but that way you don't lose that dead spot.
Yeah.
Okay. It's off, but this is where the plans show it. This is 42 inches here and then 24 over. Plans have it stopping right here, which is in the middle of this doorway. And so we're debating if we want to stop it there or if we want to stop it right here so that we can walk through without having to get in the living room. Okay.
I think it's going to be okay though. At 98 inches.
That's 6.
Well, we're gonna do 8 feet. You still got about 4 feet. Well, if I can, I'll make a suggestion. I know that's what he drew up.
And then, all right, you want to start, where you want to start?
Well, Ron didn't know, he said something about you might want to do away with all this.
Yeah, I'm assuming that's what you may have to do. So that's what it will look like eventually. Is mud lockers right here. That's what that is. And then starting at the mud locker, open. And then this cabinet's 24 inches off the wall. Big, tall floor-to-ceiling door, or two doors.
And you got cabinet above the washing dry.
That's right. And there's a random depths. You said they got 12, 15, 12, 15. So the ones above the window are more shallow than the ones. So they're going to bump out.
So it's above the window, it's going.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's going to be 12 inches
So
off,
you got-
15 off.
From there to the wall.
That's right.
What about in here?
It's going to make the corner into that setup there. Looks like what she's got, Will, is, oh wait, let's look right here. Yeah, we're going to make the corner with the whole unit, but it looks like what she's got.
You gonna come back to the window?
Right, that's correct. Looks like what she had was, I think she had the cabinet stopping right here. It looks like she's got open shelves and or hanging rod. I don't really like that. Well, you can't have a cabinet rod and terminate the cabinet. They got to just stop. So that's what she did. She's stopping them and just leaving a dead zone right here. It's going to look, how's that going to look? It's just going to be a dead cabinet, open space. If we're going to do that.
Maybe the rod is gonna butt into this guy. Okay, how deep was it?
15.
How wide was that cabinet?
I would almost rather get rid of something and have a legitimate hanging rack. If we're going to do a hanging, that's nothing. Like, that's not enough to hang anything. That's not worth it.
Okay.
I think we need to try to kill these uppers and just do open shelves right there, because we've got all this over here that's going to be cabinets. And then do a legit hanging rod, just, kill this one right here and then run the hanging rod all the way to there.
Hanging rod